made it to Athens. And in the background, can't see it, it's kind of small, but that's the Acropolis, which we're gonna go see tomorrow. Our hotel is just beyond the trees here, but we're going to go and walk up this hill. There's a church at the top of the hill and also a restaurant, but Jeremy doesn't want to go in the church, so we'll probably just look at it. But apparently there's a funicular that takes us to the top too. So we're gonna trek up the hill and check it out. See all the way out to the sea. So we're still climbing. This is the Lycabettus Hill. Our hotel is actually the St. George Lycabettus, so it's right next to the hill that it's named after. And then here it is. Might not be able to see it, but it's the one with the blue swimming pool on the rooftop. So that's our hotel. And there's the Acropolis again in the background. It's turning out to be a beautiful evening. Not hot, not cold, not raining. All right, let's keep going. All right, still going. When we finally got to the top where the church is, there was actually a wedding that was going on. And then there were a lot of just other bystanders, tourists, standing at the top as well, probably waiting to see the sunset. So we're at the restaurant at the top of the hill. Don't know what it's called, but I know it starts with an O. I got the soup with mussels. And then Jeremy got the beef. He says it's fabulous. And then we have the view. There's also going to be a wedding party over here a little bit later. They got married at the church right above us. I had to get the baklava for dessert. It's probably not going to be my first baklava of the trip. Or sorry, not going to be my last baklava on the trip, but it is my first. So, it's got ice cream in the middle of it. Oh my goodness. Let's see, I don't even know how to tackle this. Let's try from the bottom. There we go. Oh, so crispy. It's got nuts inside of it too. And it's not as sweet as you'd think. At least the ice cream part isn't. But love the pastry. We decided to take the funicular on the way back down, and you can't see very well because it was actually in a tunnel, but it drops you off right at the bottom of the hill, and our hotel was just a quick couple-minute walk away. The next day we went to the Acropolis.
I can tell you that whenever I have an umbrella with me, it's never rain. And this was our tour guide, George.
And if you stay till next weekend in Athens, you have the opportunity.
Znam minut pred zagreške, znaš? Čuš? Svalaj go samo.
We are facing the main entrance. Here, we will continue walking. Just stop.
Как се устрои това нещо?
For democratic function. We have great views to the temple of Nike that we have seen that from a distance. Before we enter the main part of the Acropolis. The marble you see everywhere has a totally different color than that marble, which is gray marble. It was built 7 centuries after this, and that was the base of the statue of Lucia, one of the early Roman rulers. We will find a way to distinguish between trees. Do not touch the marble. They don't allow us. Okay, so we have. So, but we can tell the difference between the Doric and the Ionic even from the bottom. The column slips directly on the floor. Doric. The column has a separate base.
Alright, so what have we learned so far? Where we're standing, this whole hilltop region is called the Acropolis. And then behind me is the Parthenon, which was built in around 450 BC, so it's about 2,500 years old. And then when we walked through, when we entered, that was the temple of Athena Nike, or Athena Nike. So for being thousands of years old, I'm impressed at the ruins, still intact for sure. It's very cool up here. It was a 20 euro ticket to get in. Our guide said right now that it's not very busy. Usually there's thousands of people in the Acropolis, but because of the pandemic and travel just starting to open back up, it's not very busy. And then it's like perfect weather too. It hasn't rained yet, and it's nice and cool, but not too cool. So pretty nice. So yeah, enjoying our time here so far.
This temple replaced the ancient one that was destroyed by the Persians. That was far smaller and was in the area in front of us there, in front of the women columns, the caryatids, that we will see 5 of the originals in the museum.
And after we toured the Acropolis, we went to go see the museum.
So we just learned that when they dug up to try and do the museum, they found ancient houses underneath. So they're still underneath the floor of the museum today.
Yes, please do not touch any of the exhibits.
All that stuff is original?
Yes, all that stuff is original. If you continue touching them, They were the first statues that were taken in a museum where they were initially honored, because of the graffiti that many visitors left on them. So we're going out and down.
So they basically recreated the Parthenon with a combination of originals and then replicas. We watched a video and learned that during the years people would destroy the sculptures. There was also a fire and a bombing at one point, and then at the very end there was looting, so people were stealing the sculptures. So at the end of all that, they decided to make a museum of all the originals. So they still have several of them in here. Good place to check out.
No, I mean like I saw some people. Oh, I still saw some people walking.
Yes, there is a...
Oh, that's different.
After touring the Acropolis, it was time for lunch. Here's our first course, or maybe it's just all the food at once, I'm not sure. So we had some potatoes with olive oil and dill, and then some bread in olive oil. And this is like a fish paste. It's interesting. It tastes like you're eating tuna salad, but it's all ground up. I kind of liked it. We have another veggie salad. And then our cauldron of wine. A very big glass of wine. And then we're going to have, I think, fish for the main course. So a lot just for the appetizer. We're going to fill up probably. It's very good so far. So next we have mussels. That's the next course. I've already had a couple. I like them. Jeremy's not that much of a fan, but he'll eat them. And then we found out from our salad earlier, this green that's in here, it looks like spinach or kale or bok choy. It's a green that's only eaten here, or only eaten in these parts of the world. So they didn't have an English name for it, so we don't know what it's called. But it was very good. They have it in olive oil and vinegar, they steamed it. The cows actually eat it, and because they eat it raw, it helps the cows fall asleep. But when you steam it, it takes that effect away. So we shouldn't get very tired after eating it. Alright, I'm going to eat the rest of my mussels and we'll see what's next. Okay, now comes course number 3, fish. I've dissected it, got a good chunk of meat right here. I'm going to take some lemon. Squeeze some lemon on it. And then they also made a lemon juice and olive oil mixture. So I'm going to take some of that. Put it on it as well. And now let's try some. Probably got some bones in here. I really tried my best, but I don't know. So fresh, especially with the olive oil and the lemon. So good. Love it. Alright, the final course, dessert. I'm going to be so full after this meal, I'll probably not have a lot at dinner time, but alas. So we've got some cake looking thing here, and it looks like it is just soaking in syrup. It was just soaked through. I'm not sure what kind of cake it is. Oh, maybe it's like the olive oil cakes. I don't know. Let's try it. Maybe it's soaked in olive oil. I don't know if it's an olive oil cake, but it's very good.
Here's my signature spin. You'll see that a lot from me. But the next part of our tour was going to see the actual Olympic Stadium.
I'm smiling, can you tell?
And it's no longer used for any athletic event because the track is back and forth.
Olympic Stadium from the first Olympic Games of the modern times, back in the 1890s. And they don't use it anymore for sports, but it's used for other events. So like today, there's going to be a concert, it looks like, this evening. So yeah, pretty cool. So tonight we had dinner at the Artist Rooftop Bar and Restaurant. It's in the Siri neighborhood of Athens. It's got a great view of the parking lot in the back, and it's all lit up at night.
Over there. And then they also do a silent movie show, silent cinema, that's projected on the wall. So that's really awesome. You could sit here, have a few drinks, and then watch the silent cinema, hang out with the Acropolis. Not too shabby. We're in the Siri neighborhood still, and we're on our way to an ice cream shop. It's called the Kook Cafe, or the Little Kook, and it's decorated in fairy tales. I'm excited for some ice cream. There it is. Whoa! That's so cool! My sister's gonna love this because of all of the sunflowers. Look, even sunflower umbrellas. This is insane.
Okay, so I got the ice cream cone, and it's got sprinkles on it. I got 2 scoops. There's a caramel scoop somewhere in there, and this top one is marshmallow, and then there's these little like marshmallow treats or something at the top. So let's try the marshmallow one first. I'm definitely going to enjoy this.
This is so cute! And then on our last day in Athens, we just decided to go walk around the town. These steps we actually took all the way from the metro to our hotel when we first arrived, and there's a lot of them, so it was very intense going up. In the Monastiraki neighborhood, we went to the flea market, and I just like looking at all the old trinkets just to see what there is. Never really buy anything, but sometimes you find some pretty kooky stuff. This was just a random alleyway that we found, and I love just looking at the flowers.
We're walking along a park on the way to the War Museum, and we saw this little pond with tortoises. Who knew that you'd find tortoises in the Athens city center? There's like a billion of them in there. So right now in Greece, masks are mandatory indoors and outdoors, and we see a lot of people wearing them. But then you start walking around for a while, you get hot, the sun's beating down, so it's like, man, can't wear a mask in this weather, especially when we were walking up those stairs with our backpacks. But it's nice in the park right now, not a lot of people in here, so it's just a nice little stroll on our way to the museum. Whenever we're on a trip, we should always do something Jeremy wants to do, because I make him do a lot of stuff, and you should always balance it with something he wants to do. So what does he want to do? Of course, airplanes. Wants to go check out the War Museum. So for all you airplane nerds out there, here you are. This is a 3-story museum. It goes in chronological order. You're supposed to start on the top floor, so we're on the top floor right now, and then it will go along the timeline as we go down in floors. It was only €6 a person to get in, so pretty big building for sure. We've got a lot of stuff in here. So if you like war history, good place to check out. I just like looking at medals and jewels. I think they're my favorite things in war museums. You know, it's not as glamorous walking up the stairs as it was walking down the stairs earlier today, especially with the mask on. Oh, we're almost there. Only like one more set of stairs, I think, and then we get to our hotel. Oh, I think I'm gonna go swimming. I'm hot.
Our last night was a farewell dinner with the DreamTrips group. So our first course, we had a lovely Greek salad that actually had the Daco spread croutons in it as well. And then the second course was chicken with vegetables. And then the third course was this lemon cake with a sorbet, and it had like that meringue on top, which I'm not usually a fan of, but I really liked it, and I ate the whole thing. And this was the sunset view from the St. George Locapitus Hotel. And that was my Athens trip. A special thanks to our DreamTrips host, Apostolos, and our tour guide, George, for taking care of us during our Athens trip.